Hi, listeners. Tanisa here with the latest addition to my podcast. Normally, I make these casts when I'm fired up about something that's passionate to me, and I'm not really in a ranty mood, just reflective this time. I've been going through some personal stuff. I'm not going to give too many details because, like most society, there's just too many people putting their business out there. I just need to vent a bit about society and about things in whole, about the way we are processed now as humans, our focus, our goals, our drives, or lack thereof. We are born, we are taught from almost the beginning that the only way to live life is to make yourself matter. And as of now with society, the only way it seems to make yourself matter is if you have money or some sort of status or some sort of symbol, something that says I have value, instead of actually going out and doing something that really does add to the value of society. And everybody's like, lately, what do I want to do with my life? I see it all the time on social media, how people are just miserable. They complain about their jobs, they complain about their health, they complain about the foods they put into their bodies, but nobody's conditioned to want to do something about it. Oh, somebody else has to do it. Society will crumble if we try to do stuff for ourselves. I can't grow my own food. I can't take care of life. I have to have money. That's the ideals that we have put into our mindsets. That's the mindsets that we're putting into our children. That's the values that we are all revolving our alleged lives around. This is what life is to people. Making a bunch of money for a big corporation so that we can feel like we're satisfied. And maybe we'll get a promotion and a pat on the back from somebody who is a little bit smarter than us, who is also working for somebody else. And maybe we'll feel like we're doing something when we have the 2 cars and the big house that we'll be paying for the rest of our days, that we're going to lose when we die anyway. Maybe we'll feel good if we donate a couple of dollars to our favorite charities because, at least we're helping in some way, but we're not physically getting out there because it's impossible. We can't live a life without currency. We can't live a life without structure that society has. We have to have these things because society will collapse. Well, I'm about to say something that's probably going to make me very unpopular. What the fuck do you care if this society collapses? Why should you care if this society as we have it today collapses? In a day and age where people place more value on a celebrity baby picture or the latest reality garbage TV show than the actual stride in science and medicine and technology that will help this planet do better. Why is it that a child can be born with a certain disposition towards a passion and it's snubbed out because people can't see a dollar value in it? I know that pain because I lived it. I lived the pain of somebody telling me that my dreams were not attainable financially, so that I need to use my smarts to make money, because that's all society cares about nowadays. You're on this planet not to live a life, but to live your life for somebody else. And people just can't get out of that mindset. Now, a good friend of mine linked a cartoon that had thought a philosophical lean to it by Alan Watts. And it was a very good point. Yet the comments in the section of the cartoon were the same repetitive thing. Oh, this is too elitist. How would society function if everybody just pursued their goals? There's no way we could sustain life if everybody just did what they wanted. And all I kept thinking was, wow, I really regret that I was born with a vision in mind, that I can't be a sheep, that I can't keep following the same structured path as everybody else in this world who believes that the only way to have a life is to lead it this way. Because I see how you can live your life without being ruled by courtesy. And no, you don't have to be a bum. You don't have to be a panhandler. There were life before currency became the majority rule. There was life for people before we became drawn in by the material. The reason why you can't see life without without the society structure is because you don't want to, because you're afraid to. You don't want to know what it's like to not live in a big house, to have gadgets that can do just about everything for you, to have cars and to brag. And that's your mentality. But because you can't see it, because you refuse to believe that you can take a seed and some dirt, nurture it, and grow your own food, because that kind of thinking is outside your comfort zone, everybody else is just being elitist. We can't live our lives and be happy because our happiness destroys society. Well, let me tell you something. This is the same society that shuns anybody who's different. This is the same society that tells you that if you're a boy, you have to act like a boy. If you're a girl, you have to act like a girl. If you're in a certain color, you're going to be lumped a certain way. If you have practice a certain religion, you may be frowned upon by society, depending on where you live. And I'm not saying this just because of the U.S. I'm saying this in any other country that's run by organized religion or a majority that practice the same faith. This is the society you're protecting that says this person does not act the same way as us. Let's go to war with them. Let's bomb cities and have the blood of children and innocents on our hands because they're different, because they don't see the same values as us. That's the society you're protecting. Oh, if we don't have this structure, all there'll be is lawlessness. There's lawlessness now. Why do you think that my country is one of the highest prison populations in the freaking world? It is the highest prison population in the world. And that's coming from a history where we had a continent, Australia, that was a prison colony. They have gone from that to actually being a well-rounded society where our country, which is supposed to be the land of the free, home of the brave, has the highest prison system and prison population in the world. So you tell me, what society are you protecting? You're not protecting society. You're protecting the fear of what you could possibly do without that structure that you have, that you're bound to. You're happy being a cog in the wheel of the machine that tells you that you're born to serve another person until your day you die. And that you might get little pleasure here and there, going on vacations, getting a little promotion, get a little pat on the back telling you that, oh, you're doing your part in this wheel, in this machine, just fine. But because you can't see outside that comfort, because you can't see a life outside trading your life hours for a meager existence in currency and for some material things that can easily be taken from you, because nowadays nobody buys to own. You lease. You lease because something new is going to come. Something bigger is going to come. Something better is going to come. You lease because you want those new things, because you want those bragging rights. And I'm not knocking people for it. It's ingrained in us from almost the beginning, the want, the need, to have these material things over and over and over again, because it's the only way to be accepted in society. And that is why I say, gladly with a smile on my face, fuck society. Because society and the traditions and the norms that we have that would make everything go to hell in a handbasket are the very things that are keeping us back. It is the very reason why you can look on social media and see thousands upon thousands, if not even millions of posts about certain things on TV, a certain product, rather than people pushing for what's going on in the field of science. And unless you have a circle of friends, which thank God I do, that are enlightened enough to want to promote things in science and nature, you're inundated by the latest celebrity posts. You're inundated by the latest sports teams of what the sports star is doing for his team, or crime, or all the bad. I realize now that when I look on social media, I see so many bad things that I've become numb to it. It's like the norm. My feed for Facebook is almost always some kind of inundation of celebrity bullcrap and just horrific acts from human beings. Those stupid vines that people put up really kill me. So you think it's funny for people to put up stuff where people are fighting each other and jumping each other, where we've become a society that is more normal to tape somebody being jumped and beaten up on our camera phones than it is to actually stop it and mentor people that violence is not the way? That it's more common for you to look forward to a Thursday night drama program than it is for you to maybe sit and write a poem, draw, sing a song. Even if you sing it off key, you make a song in your head. We were all given an ability to create, to nurture, to take care of stuff, and we don't do it anymore. Why? Because when you do stuff like that, it's now a fad called off the grid. It's now a fad called alternative. When did a life that we humans started out as become the alternative life? And why is this life that is stuck, chained to material things, chained to work in a job where you're basically going to work for the rest of your life to pay for things that you're not even going to have for the rest of your life, the norm? And this is the society that you're trying to protect, that you don't want to see. What about our kids? I'm a mom, and I can tell you right now, I don't want a materialistic kid. And it drives my family crazy because they grew up with material things. They grew up in the mindset that they have to work these hours, buy this stuff, because the bigger houses they have, the bigger cars they have, the better they look to in society. So when I say, yes, me and my son live a simplistic life, and that's the life we want, the looks we get, it's not even funny. It's actually kind of sad, the way we're treated for feeling that way. The way I feel that I'm looked at by others because I don't go for the norm anymore. I work a job right now that makes me miserable, and I know that's my fault because I wanted to be a writer. I spent my whole life as a child creating stories in my mind, writing little plays, writing little skits, and I was always allowing myself to be told by people, you can't do it, Tim. There's no money in it. Everybody's trying to be a writer, Tim. What makes you so special? So I let people steal that from me and tell me I'm not special enough to write, that I need to pick a goal that'll make money, that'll take care, and so I can have stuff to show that I'm making money and taking care of things, because that's the only thing that's important to them. And now these same people are trying to do the same thing to my son, and I have to say, enough's enough. Because if I don't, he's going to become another cog in this wheel in society that keeps going and destroying and churning out just horrible stuff. Instead of trying to raise my child to embrace his passions, which is a love for science and biology and marine studies, I'm told I need to push him to bigger things, a bigger picture. The same bigger picture that'll get him locked in a job, making a wage, and never seeing his dreams. And when you try to convey that to somebody who's lived a bit longer than you and has had it ingrained in them that this is the only way, it is like talking to a brick wall. So I've realized that, and I know that I cannot come at these people or anybody who believes that it's not possible. The only thing I can do is one day show them, and I am working on that. I know that I used to post a lot about Project BBV on my Facebook. I haven't done it a lot because we're still trying to get things developed, but I have not given up that dream. My dream is to wake up in the morning, not only feel like I'm about to accomplish something good for this earth, but to show people that you can live your dreams, have a community, have a society where you can be together with nature and take care of yourself. You shouldn't need a corporate structure to have a good life. Okay? You shouldn't need constant influx of currency to live a good life. But you've been told that that's the only way. You've been told that if you don't, you're going to be a hobo panhandling. And panhandling still involves you needing currency to survive. It's like people just cannot believe that there's another way to live life because they're afraid. And I can't stop people from being afraid. I can't stop people from realizing that there are other alternative lifestyles out there that you can live and lead and be happy. You have to see it. So I'm going to do my part to see that dream and vision come true, because I can't keep doing this. And I can't raise a child that's going to keep doing this. You just want to be a cog in the machine You want to have your norm. You want to trade those hours